Hi my crafty creatures, thank you for tuning into this video. And for this video I'm going to be upcycling some file cabinets that I got from Facebook Marketplace and adding a top and creating myself a brand new desk to work at. I do plan on putting my computer here and probably bringing in my sewing machines as needed. But I also have the separate area that I also use for sewing as well. But I wanted something that was going to offer me a little more space, and I am happy with what I ended up with. Now you can see a little bit of what's going on here, but I wanted to show you all the steps that I went through to kind of get this to where I wanted it to be. So if you guys want to see what I did, stay tuned to the video. So I am starting this project off with the butcher block, and I am starting with this because this is the thing that's going to take the longest, because I have to do multiple coats of stain and top coat, and that needs enough time to dry. So I'm starting off with that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start with is sanding this down. I have the bottom side up. I'm going to start with that one and do a quick sand, and then I'll actually start staining and sealing the bottom half, and then I'll flip it over once that's set and do the top. I only have a couple of hours because it's supposed to rain today, so I want to get this done as quickly as possible, so I'll just go ahead and get started. I started off sanding with a 120 grit, and I'm just going over the whole area. And after that, I'm just going to blow everything off and then spray it down with some water, just so I can get that grain to lift up so that I can get a smoother feel on the top. And I'm just going over it lightly with the water and then re-sanding it again. So the stain I'm using here is Midwax Puritan Pine, and this was one of my favorite stains, and I'm using a foam brush to go over it. And I saw this in a video and I wanted to try this as a process, and I felt like this was a really good way to do this. So what you do is just dip it all the way into the stain, and as you're lifting it up out of the stain, you want to make sure you're holding it horizontally, and then when you actually go to the wood, that's when you want to tip it down, and you want to do it roughly at a 45. And I felt like that just gave me so much stain to just spread across this whole top, and I only had to do it maybe like 3 times to dip in just so I could get over the whole top, and still had a little extra left over. But I did make a mistake, and you'll see a little bit later on what that mistake was. Okay, so I have just stained both the top and bottom of it, and I have to wait about 4 hours before I can put the top coat on, and it's going to be raining in about 4 hours. So I am going to work on getting this back inside, and then tomorrow I'll do the top coat, and then I can start working on the cabinets, because tomorrow it's not supposed to rain, so I should be good to go. But that's all I can do for today. It's supposed to be raining up until like the next morning, so this is all I can do. I wanted to give you guys a closer look of the stain before I take it in, and this is what it's looking like so far. Okay, so it is early in the morning. I have brought the table out to do some more stain. The issue I was having yesterday is it was a bit darker than I wanted it. So what I'm doing is adding some pure white, and then I'm wiping that off almost immediately, and then I'm adding some more of the stain just to give it a little bit of a lighter look, and I've been liking that. I tested it on the bottom half, and now I'm going to do it on the top. Now I will say this definitely looked way worse before it started looking better, but I had to just trust the process and know that once I added the next layer on, it would help even out everything. But definitely looked like I made a big mistake right here, but it ends up working out in the end. But the thing I should have done was put this on first and then put the stain on there. Either that, or I should have used a conditioner. I just didn't know that it was going to take the stain this way, and I don't mind the blotchiness that I'm getting, because I know it's blisher block. I know that the stain's going to take differently in those areas, but I definitely didn't want it as dark as it was. So that's why I'm just coming in here and adding that pure white so that it makes it look a little more toned down. Okay, so I have flipped it over to the bottom side and I'm going to finally put a top coat on it. I'm going to be using a satin polyacrylic, and I'll be using a tool I've never used before, so I'm going to see if that even works well. If not, I'll just switch over to a brush. Now here I am working on the bottom half of it, and I had no issues with that. I was able to get 2 coats on here without any issues as far as pulling the coat across. The problem I had was once I got to the top, the sun had come out and it was just making it dry up so quickly that it was hard for me to smooth everything out before everything dried. So I have a few spots on there where it's just kind of like it has a lot of ridges in it, and I was able to sand it out. But something to keep in mind is just to make sure that you have a cool area to work in, because that can affect the way the top coat goes on. Okay, so here I have the filing cabinets, and I just need to clean out all the cobwebs, and I'm going to go over it with a little bit of soap and water. I'll probably end up taking the drawers out in a little bit to get ready for painting. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can try to show you this. There's a little notch right here where you can push it out, and then that allows you to lift the drawer up. Pull the drawers out. Now I'm just taking some soapy water and I'm wiping everything down. I'm getting the tops of the drawers inside, and I'm getting all of the cabinets. That way they are nice and clean and ready for the sanding part that I'm going to be doing next. Then I just took 220 grit paper and I sanded down the whole side and front of this cabinet for both of them. And the one thing I did forget to do was do the drawer fronts, but I don't think I'll have as much of an issue with that as I will with the sides, just because it's such a big area. And I just wanted to get everything nice and smooth and ready for painting. So I'm starting off with the primer, and I'm just doing a light dusting over the whole cabinet and making sure that I'm getting the front, back, and both of the sides. And I did have a little bit of issue spraying this. It was definitely putting strain on my fingers, so I had grabbed this tool that I have that helps you spray, and it kind of turns it into like almost like a spray bottle. But it definitely is a lot easier on the hands when you're spraying such a large area like this. Now I've moved on to the enamel paint, and I believe this is the color Almond. And I am just going through and spraying everything, and I'm trying to make sure that I keep the layers really close together, as if I'm just like overlapping each one of the layers. And you can kind of see as I'm going, I'm kind of figuring out the angle that I need to hold the can so that I can get a pretty even coat and have less drips. Okay, so I have gone ahead and put on another coat. I did have to go to the store and buy some more cans of the tan color. One of them ended up being the wrong color, so I'll have to take that one back. But I wanted to show you guys the ombre I kind of did, and I just kind of went and put like a solid block of this teal color, and then as it went up, I just kind of dispersed it a little more. And then once I got it to where I liked, I just went back over it with the tan color and kind of diluted it a little bit so that it's more of an ombre instead of like a harsh look. and that wraps all the way around to all 4 sides. So now it's time to rearrange the room while I wait for all of that to dry, and I'm going to move everything over here out of the way. I'm just starting with a lot of the smaller things that are easier for me to just move and get out of the way, and then I'll figure out where I'm going to be putting them later on. But I definitely want to get everything out of the way so that these bigger items aren't knocking things over as I'm going. And I definitely had some issue with this cabinet because I forgot to take this stuff off the top of it. But I ended up getting it and getting it all moved out of the way so that I'd have the space to start bringing the filing cabinets and all of that back in. And if you haven't noticed by the outfit change, it's another day, and I have let the filing cabinets with the top coat just sit for 2 days, and now I'm finally going to be bringing them in here. So I'm just prepping the room so that it's ready for when I actually go and grab them. Before I bring the desk in there, I definitely have to vacuum because there is definitely a lot of dust and spider webs that have built up in that time that I've had the stuff there. So I'm just getting a quick clean to make sure that there's nothing in the way, and then I'm going to bring everything in and I'm going to try to level them out the best I can. Now the placement of it is going to kind of matter, but I did the best I could with where I thought it would be, and then once I bring the top in, I can actually make sure that everything is level for the placement of where I'm actually going to be having the desk at. So to bring the top in, I definitely had to get my fiance to help me because that was the only way I was going to get this in here easily. So I had him help me and we were able to get it in place. And then I just fine-tuned it to make sure that it's sitting in the right spot and making sure that everything is perfect so that once I actually screw everything in, it'll be nice. Okay, not sure how much of that I actually got, but I have my safety glasses on and I just pre-drilled some holes so that I can put the screws in, but I'm going to be using these screws and washers and securing the desk to everything. Whew. All right. Okay, so I have brought the drawers in and now should be able to put them into place. Okay, I got it done. Ooh. Hey. Okay guys, so this did take me a few days to do, and there are some things that I could have done better. A lot of it had to do with staining the top and just the process in which I did that. But I think overall it came out very close to what I wanted, and it goes along with my room pretty well. And I'm so excited to actually have more space in here as far as my desk goes, so that I can do all the things that I need to on this area. And I will be getting rid of my old desk and rearranging the room a little more so that it better fits the needs that I have. And I am glad that I went through this process. Like, I wasn't planning on doing the desk so soon, but when I saw the filing cabinet, I just had to jump on it, and I got them for a great price. And I will show you guys the breakdown right here of how much everything ended up costing me. And I think this was like really good considering everything put into it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.